Well, what I would like to show you today is all the things which are coming up in Warsaw that have got, because there's a kind of area along here which is a bit of a kind of lousy wall with some scrappy area behind it. This small, well, possibly once quite decorative wall, but in the meantime, you see the bits have all come falling off it. All the bricks down here are really, it's unlit. This area is unlit of an evening, and it's pretty unprepossessing. And not very often you get, I'm sorry to say, but very often you get at this area posters of things which are long gone. But let's have a look and see what there is today, because it's actually a bit of an exception. When I walked along here, I was so impressed with the different array of things that you can do this weekend and in the forthcoming time that, and nothing really out of date, that I thought I have to show it. So you've got an idea of what can be done in Warsaw in the summer before the holidays start, and even during when the holidays start. Some things kind of come to a halt. I mean, some of the musical offer just comes to an absolute halt. The National Opera just stops playing. It's terrible in my opinion for tourism. They don't care much about Warsaw, but obviously some things are happening. So here we have the 19th International Open Air Jazz Festival in the old town. Yeah. So this is 19. Międzynarodowy plenerowy Festival Jazzu na Starówce. Yeah? So on the 22nd of June, this is now the 20th, so on the 22nd of June you've got Squeeze Band, and then it's every Saturday, yeah? Starting at 7 o'clock. So you can go and see Squeeze Band in the old town this Saturday, or Pascal Schumacher Quartet the one after, yeah? And I don't know what it costs to get in there, but it's got all of these Patronati Medialne at the bottom, Ministry of Culture and National Heritage, Ministerstwo Kultury i Dziedzictwa Narodowego. It's got Lotto and Yamaha and you name it as patroni medialni for it. So and it's got the Warsaw, Ja Kocham Warszawy, the Warsaw Destination Alliance, I think is behind that one, which is a good organisation in my opinion. Warsaw's behind other cities, and the Warsaw Destination Alliance are people that are trying to make it catch up a bit, and they do good work. Most of them do anyway. And Natalie Cole, that's obviously Nat King Cole's daughter, yeah, she's coming to Poland. When's she coming? 17th of July, so that's in nearly a month's time. I don't think I'll be there for that, but you can see goodmusic.pl if you want to know about it. And she's coming to the Sala Kongresowa, which is part of it's part of the building that used to be standing proud there, but it's now got masked by the idiotic building in front of it. The Palace of Culture. In the Palace of Culture is Sala Kongresowa. So you just see the top of the Palace of Culture from here now, because they've ruined it by building up around it. So that's Nat King Cole's unforgettable daughter. And the next thing is obviously something unpleasant. Knockout Productions Zaprasza, Heathen, if that wasn't bad enough, the next thing is called Generation Kill, plus Dust Bolt, plus support bands. They all look like support bands to me, but never mind. The 10th of the here we go. That's actually gone past. The 10th of June has gone past, but it's got something else on the 26th of the 6th. So nothing coming, and then something else at the 30th of the 6th. So that's a whole set of things, and people actually have to pay to see that, which is ironic because you've got some very nice jazz, so they won't have to pay. Not that I'm a big jazz fan either. Govd Mule, Government Mule. The Tangerine Concert Agency is offering that one in various clubs. Club Progressia again and Club Studio. That's on the 1st and 2nd of July. I don't know what kind of music that is. Those who know it will presumably know. This one's, again, horrible, satanistic, nasty metal fest open air Poland, but this is in Jaworzno, which is a long way from here. But anyway, it shows you what's coming up. And again, this weekend, yeah? This weekend, these crazy lunatics want to... No, it's not. It's 26th of of June, which is next week, probably Thursday of next week if I'm not mistaken, or Wednesday of next week maybe, in the swimming pool of Warsaw, wherever that is. No idea actually. I think there's more than one swimming pool, but I wouldn't go and see that. It doesn't look very nice. It looks like it's for disordered people. Something which is more for ordered people here is obviously Paul MacCartney on the 22nd. Paul MacCartney out there. He's doing an out there tour. On the 22nd of June he'll be in the National Stadium. That's about 3 kilometres in that direction over the river. Straight line from here. That's not the only Paul MacCartney. That's not the only Paul MacCartney poster. On top of that, you've got that one there, but we'll come to that in a minute. In the meantime, we've got World War Z, Uciekaj z miasta, ulica Topołapka. On the 5th of the 7th, they're saying that you have to run away from the town because the street is a trap. Not exactly sure what that is. It's a bit of a teaser one. Whether it's a concert or a game or something, I have no idea. Sigur Rós is here on the 25th of June, which is I think next Tuesday. Paul MacCartney's just his out there thing, same thing, just a different poster. This is a nice one for kids. World Smurf Day, Światowy Dzień Smurfa. There's Smurfetka there. That was always my favourite one. It's free entry from 11 o'clock in the morning to 18. Another version of Smurfetka just walked by, but slightly less blue. Yeah, it's Park Skarżyszewski, which is a park on the other side of the river, quite a big park. And then you've got the opening of the Smurfs village, and then Smurf races for the little kids, and then they're going to meet some television stars, and then they're going to have slightly older kids races, and then even slightly older, and even for adults races, and then they're going to celebrate Peyo's birthday. That's the person that made the Smurfs up in the first place, and they're going to hand out cakes. So there you go. That's nice, isn't it, for the children? Shaggy, featuring Ravon, Ken Booth. This is reggae, okay. So if you like reggae, you've got that here as well. That's on the 12th to the 14th of July, in Płock though, not in Warsaw. Next one, the 9th International Festival of Teatrów Tańca Zawirowania. So the Israeli Dance Theatre. I don't know exactly what Tańca Zawirowania means, but it's like sort of like, well, wir is like a whirlpool. So it's like being like a whirlpool when you're dancing, whirly dancing. What exactly that is, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a different way of translating it into English. But if you want to know what it is, I suppose the thing to do is to go along. The Israeli Dance Theatre. It's going to take place in the theatre called the Studio and in the old Pruchownia. 18 spectacles from 13 countries. When they say spectacles, they don't mean glasses, they mean actual sort of like acts. Not entirely sure where it is, but it must be Warsaw, because it's once again the Warsaw Destination Alliance is funding it, but also the Israeli embassy, Visegrad Fund is funding it, and quite a lot of other media, including the Arts Council of Korea and Kulturrådet is also funding that one, so it's getting quite a bit of funding. Which just goes to show, if you want to do whirly bird dancing, you probably can get a career in it, because people are willing to finance it. That's not an event, that's just a tarts card, in case you're wondering. So there's Paul again out there. That's the third slightly different Paul MacCartney poster. This one's nice. Verdi. They're celebrating his 200th birthday. Unfortunately, he didn't quite live to see that, but there we go. That is Verdi, from my remembrance of seeing that portrait of him in another place. Yeah, so they're going to be showing Aida, Rigoletto, which I've seen in Prague, Traviata Troubadour and Nabucco with the famous Va Pensiero, and that will be, seems to be being done by quite a series of foreign musicians. Poland's very good at getting foreign musicians in rather than educating its own ones. If you want to know about that, ask Richard Barclay, my friend, who's well, he's got an orchestra, but he's not getting any funding. They're rather paid to bring in foreign musicians rather than develop their own. So there we go. That's hasn't got any media sponsors, but it's got plenty of ticketing. People will pay for that, and it's going through September. Actually, it's not yet, but it's going to be in Warsaw on the 27th of September. Other places will be Kielce, which will probably be the only piece of culture there's ever been in Kielce, so that's bound to sell out, because there's bound to be some people that, even if they're not interested, will just be interested in it for the novelty's sake. Zabrze, well, that's a nice place actually. It's good if you like football. Yeah, Warsaw, Bielsko-Biała is a nice place, and Krakow, well, Krakow's overrated in my opinion, but there they are, that's where they finish off. So there's one of the previous posters repeating for Paul MacCartney. This is an interesting one now. This is the Igrzyska Ogniste, so that's actually a game. I think you get dressed up as some kind of knight and go to this fort in Warsaw and smash the hell out of each other, or at least pretend to. That's lasts for 2 days, that battle. This is one of those dressing up as a medieval character and smacking each other. I think if you turn up to watch these tournaments. I think it's really actors that are kitted out properly that take part. I don't think that you can just turn up and take part. I may be mistaken, maybe you can, maybe it will turn into that sort of thing, I don't know. So a few people kick off a little bit and start throwing bottles around, maybe it will, turn into some real fun, but I don't think so, not in Poland. So, Półtusk Festival. Yeah, Półtusk is a city about 50 kilometres north of here on a very picturesque lake, with a castle, old bishopric, the bishops of Płock, when they had the castle, when there was not much difference between the church and the political power, which is a very pathetic and sad time for the church, I have to say, as I've said it before. This one's a media, a sponsored media event. Czerwone Gitary, Żuki, so a lot of Polish acts, Polish pop acts, and they've got a lot of media coverage there with Students.pl being part of what is supporting that, but TVP Polonia, which is for Poles abroad. And Polonia, of course, is the idea that Półtusk is the centre of Polonia, or the Stowarzyszenie Wspólnota Polska is what owns Półtusk, I believe, and Półtusk, that castle, is basically a centre for Poles to come to when they visit Poland for events, connecting Poles who've gone away from the country, and when they come back they want to be sheltered from the reality of the modern Poland, which is becoming more and more and more like any other European country, and therefore very distressing for somebody that's developed in their mind a romanticised idea of their own country. Yeah, they don't want to come here and see like that on the floor there. They don't want to come here, these folk, and see tarts cards littering the floor, as in reality, or people digging in bins to get the scraps of food out, like that guy there is just doing. They don't want to see that. They want to see this, or any of these things that have been left on the floor. They don't want to see any of that stuff. They want to see really Polish related stuff. So they want to eat bigos, they want to eat pierogi, and the staff in that of the kitchen are specialist chefs in the very best Polish cuisine, They know how to cook traditional recipes, and they're very, very good in there, I have to say. They've got a couple of very nice, pleasant restaurants with old Polish decor in and old Polish music, and you get the ambience of, you know, the romantic, old, ancient Polish style, and that caters to the romantic notions of these expatriate Poles coming back to the country for an event. Whereas walking down the street and seeing Subway here and well, a churrascaria restaurant, which is very nice, of course, but maybe not very Polish, more Brazilian, as you can see. That's not going to cater to their romantic notions of their untouced Poland that they left, or their grandfather left, or their father left, or they left in childhood. And so Półtusk is what they call a skansen. It's got nothing to do specifically with Scandinavia, although Scandinavia is a bit of a skansen altogether, I suppose. But it's a place which is kept for folkloric purposes, untouched by modern, or relatively untouched by modern civilization. That's what Półtusk is all about. It's a very nice place, though. I don't say don't go there. Go there. It's an attempt at recreating an atmosphere of what defines Polishness, and there's nothing wrong with that. But of course, you have to be aware, of course, that if you do go there, that it's not the real world anymore. More's the pity, in a way. But no harm in going there. I've taken people there, and I've been there a few times, you know, 4 or 5 times. It's perfectly all right there. But there, I just wanted to show you that, because I'm on my way home, you know, and I bought myself a new bag today for my new job, because the old one's just similar bag that I had was just, I get through one of those a year, but every time they promised me it'll last 2 years, and today was no exception. But this was a lovely one with brown leather, and real made out of leather, not the kind of rubbish I've been buying earlier on. But I thought, since I'm going to be on slightly better money, in anticipation of that, I'd splash out and stop looking like a slob with a plastic bag, you know, and have a proper leather one. So there you are. Sorry if you have a plastic bag that I just called you a slob effectively, but don't take it personally. I've been walking around with one for 4 years and I just about had enough of it, so I took advantage of the improving situation, put it that way, and invested in this, because after all it is a business tool. Yeah, it's part of what you turn up looking like a self-respecting advisor, and it gives the client confidence as well. They're more likely to pick you for something than the other person just because you came with good-looking equipment. Well, it's not going to it's not going to be the deciding factor. It's just going to be the icing on the cake. But I prefer, if I'm in the business of selling cakes, I do prefer to sell one with icing on than not with icing on, if I'm expecting the same price for both. So there we are. That was just a little bit of Warsaw for you. And this is the real Warsaw. This is not, you know, people were saying, oh, you don't show the best bits of Warsaw, you don't. You show all the grotty bits, you just show the bits with tarts cards on the floor and the broken bricks and the slummy area. Why don't you show the nice bits? Well, I just show what there is, you know. I don't especially go to places just to show the slummy bits. I just show what there is. If you don't like it, I'll go to Półtusk.